thumb. The following video is also another crucial preparation under English Language Paper 2, considering the 2022 GCE exam. We are going to use few from the 10 questions that we have brought under a section called transformation. We are going to entertain different types of rewrites and see how best we are going to provide these to our advantage. Let's begin. Question 1. This knife is not as sharp as that one. Begin that. This type of a sentence as a transformation is basically a comparison type of sentence, and we are going to draw comparison between the two types of things that are under the same category. By that, I mean this knife, and then there is that one. So this knife is supposed to be compared as in being less sharp. So when we start with that one, this means that one is a bit sharper or more sharp than the other one. Hence, we're going to say that, then we can maintain one, then at last we are going to use the word knife. If not, when we use knife, we're going to end with one. So we're going to say that knife is more sharp than this one. We aren't supposed to again say knife because it's going to signify repetition. And to avoid such in an exam, as you'll be handling tomorrow's paper or any type of English paper 2 Zambian syllabus, you need to understand that when drawing comparison, when you mention one word, it caters for the two. Whereas when you say that knife is more sharp than this one, this implies one is simply trying to refer to the word knife. Moving on to question 2. The members of parliament will make him president of the country. Having to say that, we're trying to talk about a certain majority of the people bound to vote for someone. And in that instance, the sentence starts with he will. So we're trying to talk about the exact support coming from people, hence enabling him trying to be the exact president of the country we are going to talk about. So hence we're going to say he will, then go back. The members of parliament will make. We are going to assume as if this person has already taken office. Hence, we're going to say he will be. Then, where there is the word make, we are simply going to turn it into a past tense language which becomes made. He will be made. When we use such kind of the word, we are now going to cater out for the exact position which is member of parliament. He will be made member of parliament. You will be made a member of parliament, or you will be made the president of the country. President of the country by the members of parliament. Question 3, that's a conditional rewrite, and when we start with unless, in as much as it doesn't contain negativity, we're going to bring in the word if, which is supposed to mean the same. Well, we're going to say, unless it rains tomorrow, we shall hold an extraordinary staff meeting. When we say if, we are trying to assume as if it rains, what then will simply happen? So we're going to say, if it rains, we are allowing a certain coincidence to happen. With that in mind, we're now going to bring in the negativity. If it rains, we shall not say we shall hold an extraordinary staff meeting. This will only be held only if it doesn't rain, whereas unless was being able to be interchanged. So I'm going to say if it rains, we shall maintain the same words. We are going to say we shall not hold an extraordinary staff meeting. So I'm going to say if it rains, we shall not hold an extraordinary staff meeting in opposite language unless it rains tomorrow, which means if it doesn't rain tomorrow, we shall hold an extraordinary staff meeting. Question 4. The room is dilapidated, but it is still used as a laboratory. Having to deal with such a question simply means you, as the person writing the particular exam, you are supposed to bring to realization that you are simply describing how bad, good, beneficial the particular room under discussion really is. The room is dilapidated. So when we say no matter, we are going to talk about the nature of the room, where we're going to say no matter how. Then we're going to bring the actual full description, which talks about how this room really is currently or before. No matter how, then we're going to bring in the word dilapidated. So I'm going to say no matter how dilapidated, then I'm going to say the room is. Having to say that, it simply means I've described the nature of the room successively. No matter how dilapidated the room is, then I'll put a comma to signify now its own benefits that comes despite its dilapidation. So we're going to maintain it is still used as a laboratory. So farm out there, like I said earlier to start the video, I said there were 10 questions that were brought under 2022 GCE exam. The same are to be expected tomorrow morning. And as you are going to pursue in terms of trying to get the particular proper grades you'd want to pursue for, here are some of the few tips we could consider after answering the exact questions. Question 1 was talking about comparisons, where we said this knife is not as sharp as that one. We were meant to understand which one was more and which one was less. Having to say not as good as saying something is less. So when you try to start with what was mentioned at last, we're supposed to say is more. This is to signify the whole purpose as to why this is not was used. Question 2. The members of parliament will make him president of the country. So when we talk about he, it's coming from the word him, which is a pronoun. Now, this will is describing the exact action that will be done. So we're going to say he will be, then when we say he will, the members of parliament will make, we're going to say he will be, then make turns into made. He will be made president of the country by the members of parliament. Coming on to question 3, unless it rains tomorrow, we shall hold an extraordinary staff meeting. Suppose such a question pops up the following morning, then it will be advantageous the following morning, as you should understand that when they use unless and then they haven't entertained any negativity, this implies if you use if, you are starting with what is negative, and when you say if it rains, you are supposed to say we shall not hold an extraordinary staff meeting. This should imply that there is an obstacle preventing this occurrence. Question 4. The room is dilapidated, but it is still used as a laboratory. You are supposed to understand when you start with no matter, you should firstly target what you should describe from the particular sentence. So what's being described is the nature of the room, and its description is that it has a dilapidation or it is dilapidated. Hence, we're going to say no matter how, then we bring in the actual description, which is going to clearly state how this room's nature is. We're going to say no matter how dilapidated the room is. Then we're going to end with what is positive by saying it is still used as a laboratory. So as you face the exam tomorrow morning, I just wish you the level best, even in the other subjects that are bound to be written this week, up until you finish. Stay focused, solidify what you know, and be able only to focus on what is positive and what is possible. Only you should be able to understand that you know yourself better than anyone else does. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Turn on the notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. This has been Mr. Sensor from Sensor Academy School of Tuitions. Till in the next video, for now, it's a very goodbye.